to the jelly belly.
I'm not going over too late. It's loud enough, just right there. Okay, it is 6 o'clock. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Nampa City Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, November 25th, 2025. Madam Clerk, let's start with the roll call, please.
Garner.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Dapper. Turner.
Here.
Kehoe.
Here.
Morgan.
Here.
Kirkman.
Here.
Salmon. Here. Copeland. Here. 8 present.
Thank you. Should we go you or should we approve? So is anyone here for item 3-4? I am. Preliminary plat approval for the amended portion of Reflections Edge subdivision. The applicant has asked for that to be continued.
Continued from tonight?
Because we had to amend the agenda to put it on in the first place, you guys have to approve the amended agenda. And then at the, and then when we start public hearings, we'll move that up and continue.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I make the motion that we approve the amended agenda.
Second.
So moved by Garner, seconded by Kehoe to approve the amended agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it's been Christie.
Okay. So update on city council actions from November 17th. The 2 final plat approvals were approved through consent, Brookhaven number 1 and 7 Maple Branch number 2. And then there were 2 variances and an annexation. One variance was to chapter 4, which is the GB1 zone, to not require a landscape berm in front of the property off of Franklin Road, because there's actually an easement there, a drainage easement and a utility easement that runs right through where that berm would go, and it would create real problems with that easement, so they allowed that variance. The second variance was for rear yard setbacks. We have a 15-foot rear yard setback, and these people added on to their house without realizing that they were encroaching into that 15-foot rear yard setback, so that was approved. And then annexation and zoning to RS 8.5 for 7736 Birch Lane, which was that property, if you'll remember, back behind the property that they already had. It was already in the city, and the county had some open enforcement actions on them, and so they wanted to come in the city to kind of rectify some of that. That was also approved. And that's it. Any questions?
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
Second. Been moved by Garner, seconded by Kehoe to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. We'll go ahead and open our meeting. Let's go ahead and take care of item 3-4 now.
When did it continue to?
January.
For what now?
So it's item 3-4. It was added late. They've asked for a continuance. So, do we need to open that item specifically? Okay.
Well, it's already open technically.
Yeah, because it wasn't closed, so.
Yeah, so I think you can just make a motion.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Regarding action item 3-4, I make a motion that we continue this public hearing to the January 13th, 2026 meeting.
I'll second that.
It's been moved by Garner, second by Kirkman to continue item 3-4 to January 13th, 2026 meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that item is continued. Okay, we'll go ahead and start with item 3-1. If you have not been to a public hearing, we will give the applicant 7 minutes to tell us what they would like to do. We'll give staff a limited amount of time to give their case. And we'll allow anybody who would like to testify for, against, or undecided on each item 3 minutes. When you do come to the mic, please give us your name and address for the record. And also listen closely, or be courteous to people that are at the mic, because the mics we have pick up a lot of noise. So if they're trying to speak and people in the crowd are talking, picks up, so if anybody's on the line or for our recording, it makes it hard to hear. So, item number 1, conditional use permit to keep 4 dogs in an RS6 for Bobby Myers. You guys must be happy.
721 Sunny Lane. Sorry, I don't hear very well.
It's okay.
Bobby Myers.
Okay, just tell us what you want to do.
What's that?
Tell us what you want to do.
Well, we have 4 dogs. We've always been a big dog family people. We lived out in the county, or it wasn't really an issue, and we were forced to move and couldn't find a place out in the county anywhere. So now we're in city limits, and we did get rid of our pit bull, and we don't want to have to do that with any of the girls, their family. And we just wanted to make sure this was all legal and up to par.
Okay. Anybody have questions? We'll call you back up if we need to.
What's that?
We'll call you back up if we have any questions later. Okay, Terry?
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Terry Friend, Associate Planner for the City of Nampa. The request before you tonight is for a conditional use permit for a non-commercial kennel license for 4 dogs in an RS6 zoning district for Bobby Myers at 721 Sunny Lane. In terms of the property, it's in a medium-density residential for the comprehensive plan. The current zoning is RS6, single-family residential. The surrounding land uses in all directions are single-family detached dwellings in an RS6 zoning district, and public utilities, water, sewer, and irrigation services are already provided to the property. This is the house itself. The front faces Sunny Lane, and because of the way it's centered on the property and the way Sunny Lane goes in the direction the side of the house is also facing Sunny Lane. These are the 4 sweet dogs we're talking about: Willow, Kylie, Phoebe, and Mare. Applicable regulations, we've got quite a few of related to animals, and the maximum of 2 dogs is stated here in 1021-3D. You can have up to 2 in combination between a potbelly pig or a dog, or 1 of each, 2 of 1, any combination thereof. But if you have more of them, there is the opportunity for a conditional use permit for the non-commercial kennel license with a CUP. So the reason we do a conditional use permit is so that we can have an opportunity for a public hearing, so that we can understand any concerns that there might be about this land use in combination with the surrounding properties. So here we are tonight. The criteria to approve a conditional use permit you've seen before, but it's that the land use is supported by the comprehensive plan, that the design, construction, operation, and maintenance of the property and the project will not adversely impact the intended character and appearance of the general vicinity, that the proposed primary land use will be served adequately by essential public facilities and services, and that the proposed use will not operation that will be detrimental to any person's property or the general welfare by reason of excessive traffic, noise, smoke, fumes, glare, or odors. We do know that a CUP can be revoked if there was a citizen complaint or if we had a city violation that was investigated and found to be credible and not remedied, the CUP can be revoked. And then in addition, under the police regulations, there are regulations relating to licensing dogs. The canine licensing regulations are here. As the applicant stated briefly, they moved from the county with these animals. They had additional animals that they were able to rehome, but these ones they consider to be their beloved family members. They are all spayed female animals. They are primarily inside dogs. These are the proposed findings related to our application today. These are detailed in your staff report as well. And for conclusion, a CUP is required for a non-commercial kennel in a single-family residential zone so that any negative impacts can be identified and reasonably mitigated. The property appears to be well maintained and there is no record that the dogs are causing any concerns related to safety, smell, or noise. And although 4 dogs as pets may impact neighboring facilities, in this case it appears that the impacts are being and will continue to be mitigated by the property owner, and if necessary, code allows for city staff the right to enforce property maintenance and animal control standards. If you opt to approve this CUP today, here are some proposed conditions. That the applicant apply with all requirements imposed by any agency. There was no agency comments this time. That applicants shall apply for a non-commercial kennel license with the Planning and Zoning Planning and Zoning Office. The CUP will only apply to these 4 dogs that are listed in the applicant's narrative: Willow, a mini Aussie; Kyle, I think that's Kylie, sorry, a pug; Phoebe, a pug; and Mare, a Chihuahua. The applicant will secure and maintain a dog license for each dog, and the CUP is not to be transferable to other people's outside the immediate household or other animals or other locations. They would need to reapply if they were going to do any of those things, and any other conditions that you may want to add. And here are your potential motions. I'd be happy to answer any questions. No, we do not.
Okay, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for, against, or undecided on this? Anything you'd like to add?
Mr. Chair, I have a question for the applicant.
Okay,
I don't think so.
you can go back, I've got a question for you.
Just, but yeah, we need to get the license, everybody's spayed and I don't breed.
So my question is more of a curiosity. How did you already know that you needed to come to the city for a CUP for 4 dogs? Or was there a neighbor or somebody that said, hey, you got 4 dogs, you need to go take care of it? That's okay, you can answer.
Lawrence Corrigan, 721 Sound Lane. No, it's just looking up the codes after
Oh,
we moved
okay.
in.
And being proactive and
Yeah.
good citizen and all that. Good. And then I did notice in the letter that you wrote and put in here, you said that the Chihuahua was very mellow. I'm gonna have to take issue with that. I don't think any Chihuahuas are very mellow. We used to have one, so. No, that's all I have, Mr. Chair, thank you. Appreciate it, and thank you for the response.
Thank you.
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Moved by Garner, second by Turkman, to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, anything?
I think, Mr. Chair, I'll
Kirkland, seconded by Kehoe, to approve this item. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Guess I should have had it out ready. Okay, this CUP will become effective 15 calendar days from the date the written decision and reason statement is provided to the applicant, unless an appeal has been filed with the Planning and Zoning Department with the appropriate fee. No action should be taken on this CUP until the appeal period has concluded. The applicant must confirm with the Planning and Zoning staff that there have been no appeals. Thank you. Okay, we'll move right on to, yeah, you guys can. Okay, item 3-2, subdivision preliminary plat approval for Kings Court Commercial Subdivision in BC for Mason Associates. And look who's here.
Good evening. My name is William Mason with Mason and Associates. Our address is 924 3rd Street here in Nampa. Tonight, I am coming before you to ask for a preliminary plat approval for a project, Kings Court Commercial Subdivision. It's now going to be called Manna Commercial Park. The city GIS said there was already a Kings Court somewhere else, so we're asking it to be called Manna Commercial Park. It's an 8-lot commercial subdivision about half a mile to the west of Middleton Road on the north side of Highway 55, Carter Road. It's for small-scale commercial, artisan type commercial uses. For example, a pottery maker, a leather crafter, a small metal work type facility. Our client actually would like to own one of the lots. He hasn't talked to other end users, so this 8 lots could turn into 6. It would never be more than the 8 commercial lots that you see there. We've looked at the staff report and talked to the city engineer, and we have no issues with the staff finding. With that, I can stand for any questions or wait until after the staff report and testimony.
Anybody? No. Okay, thanks, Mr. Candace?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Candace Fry, Assistant Planner for the City of Nampa. The request before you this evening is a subdivision preliminary plat approval for Kings Court Commercial, but now known as Manna. The original concept is 8 commercial lots and 5 common lots on 8.41 acres. The property details: the property is currently zoned BC or community business. The surrounding zoning to the north is a county subdivision. To the south is more commercial and Sunnyvale subdivision. To the east is commercial and more county property. And to the west is Crestwood Estates and more commercial. The comprehensive plan designates this area as commercial, and the only history we have on this project is that it was annexed and zoned to BC in November of 2000. Here are the applicable regulations for the BC zone. The staff analysis: the overall site is 8.98 acres. Lot sizes and lot width comply with codes. More on this in a second. There are no minimum and maximum requirements for lot sizes in the BC zone. Commercial projects are exempt from open space requirements. Parking will be reviewed at the time of the building permit. A preliminary landscape was submitted. A more formal review will be done upon the submission of the final plat, and each individual lot within the subdivision will be landscaped according to the site layout and will be reviewed at the time of the building permit. For correspondence, we did not receive any public comment, but we did receive agency comments. The engineering department had comments on drainage, utilities, and access. utilities have the capacity to serve this property. A trip generation memo was provided and will continue to be reviewed based on the proposed tenants. The fire district had comments regarding fire hydrants, access, and general compliance with the International Fire Code. Nampa Meridian Irrigation District left comments regarding the ore drain and box lateral. Nampa Parks and Rec requests the developer to give the city a 20-foot wide easement on the south side of the Elijah Drain and construct the pathway to the standards in the city of Nampa Bicycle and Pedestrian Master Plan at the time of construction. The Nampa GIS Department had comments regarding the street names on the plat. And then the Idaho Transportation Department requests that the applicant submit a traffic impact study reflecting full build-out of the development. Any mitigation identified through the traffic impact study will be the responsibility of the applicant. Here are the recommended conditions of approval. Condition number 6 was added, but it was not listed in the staff report, but I do have it highlighted here. Here are the potential motions, and I will stand for any questions.
Chairman, I have a kind of an informational type question to ask. Candace, it says that Parks Department requested an easement 20-foot wide and so forth, and there's lots of requests in there. I knew you'd have to answer this question. How many times do we refuse these requests, or do they refuse to request to lease or give up the land for projects like this?
Commissioner Keno, do you mean the applicant refuses to do
Yeah.
that? You know, that doesn't happen. For the most part, we've had pre-app meetings with these folks. If there's a developer, and of course, Will has been doing this long enough to know what our codes are like and what the expectation will be, especially along waterways. So I think those expectations are known well in advance. So we don't usually run into that issue. It's like, if you want to develop it, this is the requirement. And they tend
Yeah,
to do it.
it's in here all the time, but I've never heard anybody say they're opposed to it, you
Yeah,
know?
and I don't think they are really opposed to it. You know, having a pathway isn't a bad thing.
No, but there's other things they may not like giving up the land for because it's less money for them to develop a property on there.
Yeah, it's a city requirement when there's a waterway on the property, and I think we tell them that well in advance.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yep.
Mr. Chair, just again, more for my information, I guess, but why would a traffic impact study, or is there a TIS that's required in this particular project? It doesn't seem like it's big enough to require one.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Kirkman, they provided a trip generation memo identifying what their anticipated uses are, and it fell below the threshold for requiring a traffic impact study for our policies. We will work with the developer and the Idaho Transportation Department. If they ultimately do require a traffic impact study, I would anticipate that it would only be looking at their entrance and whether or not a turn lane is necessary to come into there. But we will, as staff, will work with the developer, his engineer, and Idaho Transportation to figure that out. But you are correct, the trip generation memo that they prepared did come in lower than our threshold to require a TIS.
Thank you.
Okay. Madam Clerk, do we have a sign-up sheet?
No, we do not.
Is there anybody here who would like to speak for or against or undecided on this? Can you give us your name and address for the record?
Yes. Good evening, Chuck McCadden, 11364 Carter Road. I live the property in question. The idea was to create small lots, which individuals can own as opposed to rent somewhere, and they can build their own type of structure depending on their needs. And one of them, like Will said, is something that we hope to have for ourselves. My sons and I, we buy and
questions I have.
Quick question.
Back in April, there was a neighborhood meeting. There were a few people that signed up and attended. Was there any opposition to that from those, what, 5 people that, well, one of them was a gentleman in the back, so I would imagine that there was no opposition there, but. And that was a long time ago, granted, I know that was a long time ago back in April. I was just curious if there was any opposition from those individuals at that community meeting.
William Mason with Mason and Associates, for the record. No, there was no opposition. They generally wanted to know what we were planning. Yeah.
Great, that was it.
Okay. Okay.
I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
Been moved by Kirkman, second by Key to close public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, public hearing's closed. What do you guys think about this one?
Fill it up.
Fill it up?
I like the idea.
Smaller spots to.
Yeah. I like it so much,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, that I'm gonna make a motion. To approve the project as stated on the screen with recommended conditions and adopt the potential findings as stated in the staff report.
Second.
It's been moved by Kirkman, second by Selman to approve this item. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and move on to item 3-3, zoning memorandum from RA, RS6, and potential development agreement for Dylan Shively, representing Denise Smith.
Good evening, my name is Dylan Shively. I live at 602 Chicago Street. My plan here is to rezone from RA to R6 to allow us to split the lot in half and allow us to build a single-family home at the southern half of the property. We've worked with Southwest District Health, as this will be on a septic tank system. And we've done everything with them to obtain a permit through them, if we get that far.
Mr. Chair? I know this young man, I know his family, I just wanted to get that out there in the record. We've had no business together or anything like that, but just friends. All right, say neighborhood, that was it. Just in case it comes up later down the road.
And, Mr. Chair, if I may, ask the question, do you feel that you can be impartial and unbiased in this decision?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, there's no financial interest at all?
No financial interest.
Or blood relationship?
No blood.
All right,
Okay, I'm good with it.
all right, I'm good at this too.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Rodney.
Running.
Rodney, you're doing your hair out.
Shake the beard. Yeah. And I shrunk. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Christy Watkins, Principal Planner for the City of Nampa. I'm standing in for Rodney Ashby this evening. As stated, the request is a rezone from RA to RS6. This property is a 0.37 acre parcel, which is 16,117 square feet. That is larger than what would be allowed in the RS6 zone, so one of the conditions will be that he splits the lot. So in the comprehensive plan, it is in the medium-density residential district. And so the RS6 zoning district is allowable zone for that future land use designation. The surrounding zoning, to the north is RA, single-family residential. To the east is RA, single-family residential. To the south is RS7, which is single-family residential. And to the west is RS6. That is a 4-acre undeveloped piece of property. There was a they chose to go that direction instead. There is no sewer available at this time. Septic and drain fields will be required for any development on this lot. There is a 10-inch water main in the west side of Chicago Street and a 6-inch main in the north side of Dewey. For pressurized irrigation, there is a 10-inch pressurized irrigation main in the east side of Chicago and a 6-inch main in the south side of Dewey. So here are the applicable regulations for your rezone, and staff has found all three of these to be met. These are the applicable regulations for the RS zoning district. So if RS6 is permitted, the minimum lot size would be 6,000 square feet and the maximum lot size would be 12,000 square feet. So he could split that lot in such a configuration that it would, the smallest would be 6,000 and whatever's left over. There's a number of different ways that that could happen, but there is still enough room for 2 dwelling units on that property. And then they have to meet the setbacks that are shown here on the screen. So the fire district, their comment does not oppose this application, subject to compliance with other code requirements. The Nampa Building Department says, after seeing the comments from the City of Nampa Engineering Department, the nearest sewer availability exceeds the 200 feet, as stated in the ISPC, which is the plumbing code. The City of Nampa Building Department will approve the property adjustment with the following conditions. A letter from Southwest District Health approving the joint use from one property sewer line connecting to one drain field located on the southernmost lot shall be provided to the City Building Department. A copy of the recorded agreement as stated above for both properties shall be provided to the City of Nampa Building Department. These 2 documents will be recorded with the property boundary adjustment permit for reference when a building permit is applied for. And then the engineering department stated their standard comments regarding right-of-way, which has already been completed, and the requirement for frontage improvements if and when the property is developed, and that septic and drain fields are required on the property because of the proximity to sewer. So prior to splitting the lot, they shall provide a proof of Southwest District Health approval. So the facts for rezoning that were found by staff are listed out in your staff report and were stated previously in this presentation. So weighing the evidence of the facts presented, the facts support compliance with each of the zoning map amendment criteria outlined in City Code. The proposed map amendment is in harmony with the adopted comprehensive plan and the land use map because of the zone that they have requested and the uses specifically called out as approved in the plan. The density falls within the plan range for medium density residential, and the land uses permitted under that zone are identified as needs and compatible to the other residential uses in the area. The proposed map amendment provides for proposed use that is compatible. It will provide the same land use as the neighboring properties. It is in the interest of the public and reasonably necessary, as shown by the fact that the land use will not be changing and the zone and the use are supported. These are the conditions of approval that are listed in your staff report. And these are the potential motions. I'll stand for any questions.
Christine, and if you have to defer these to the applicant, that's fine, or engineering. Are they gonna access off of Chicago for that southern part? Or are they gonna have to come off of Dewey?
Commissioner Morgan, yeah, I would have them answer that. I have not seen a layout for what they're proposing when they split those lots, so I don't know what they're proposing for that.
Daniel, do you have a preference or opinion on that?
We would allow the access off of Chicago there, similar to the 3 houses to the south of the existing property.
Okay, so they can do it either way, and you're okay with it?
Yep.
Daniel, while you're there, how far is sewer from there? Is it anticipated that it will go down Chicago?
So there is sewer in Amity. However, that sewer is shallow enough it will not reach up to this house. The sewer that will serve this area and north is down at the dog park and would need to come up 2nd Street and then back down Chicago. It's a bit of a ways to get sewer into that area, and that's really all of that area north of the church and these all the way to the railroad tracks it's an area that sewer has not
sewer desert.
There's a sewer desert. A septic oasis, how about that?
Yep.
And they can answer what the plans are for the ADU, or will it be permitted, the ADU remain?
Commissioner Morgan, yes. So a single-family home in the city of Nampa can have an EDU with it. So if they chose
In
to.
any zone?
In any zone with a single-family home, yes. Any residential zone, I should say. So in this case, if they wanted to split it and do another single-family home with an ADU, they could do that.
Okay, there's no reason they would have to take that out?
No.
Okay.
Unless the property line doesn't fall in the correct place, but that will be determined with the survey.
Right.
Okay. We'll give you in just a second. Madam Clerk, do we have a sign?
No.
Okay, is there anybody who would like to speak for, against, or undecided on the side? Okay. Technicality, really, but.
So the ADU would be demolished in order to build that single-family home. The septic tank system, the drain field primarily, wouldn't allow for the space for the ADU to continue to.
Any other questions, Melissa? No? Okay,
Chair, make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
it's been moved by Commissioner Garner, second by Kehoe to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, public hearing is closed. Opinions, thoughts, concerns?
No, but I guess I'll just make a clean sweep of this.
Good.
I move to recommend approval of the project as stated on the screen.
Second.
Moved by Kurt, second by Morgan to approve this item. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes.
Okay. Peggy?
Before Peggy says anything, I want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Good time with your friends and family is amazing.
Oh, I wondered what that was.
Sometime we'll roll in.
Happy Thanksgiving. Second.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye. Oh, who said all in favor? I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, I thought that was you.
Peggy hasn't made her motion.
I'm so sorry, I apologize. I thought it was legit.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion and seconded to adjourn meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much.